have privilege which someone gives you. You have them from the moment you were born. Doesn't mean that okay, now um, you are born, then somebody will come to you and say, now I'm giving you, you have human rights. As soon as you are born, you are entitled to these human rights. Nobody should give you. Are not privileged to some people, that some people have those rights, some people don't have these rights. So everybody is just as soon as they were born are entitled to these rights because they are right and they cannot be taken away, although they can sometimes be limited. So in some cases they can be limited. So as the lesson go on, we will talk about how are they being limited and why they should be limited in some point. All right. So right and responsibilities. So and right and responsibilities. So now we have rights. We say we have human rights as soon as we are born. The question will be, so now I have rights. What is my responsibilities? So that because now I have, so what do or should not do? So those things that ask us what to do and what not to do, and ask ourselves the right to check it off. What to violate? And in violating rights is whereby you are infringing or you are doing something bad to some people that definitely try to take away their rights. You are violating those people's rights. So if you're not infringing, not or closing the gap or making the person or other person feel oppressed or feel like they're not happy about themselves and so on, you are definitely violating their rights. So now also this right do not replace the laws we already have, and so we must respect these laws as well. So as much as we have rights, we have human rights as soon as we're born. The country as they drafted their constitution in the country, and have the Bill of Rights and the human rights and everything on their constitution. Because you know that in our South African constitution, the Bill of Rights is in chapter 2. So now, the constitution have the laws and everything. What happened when you do this? Happen to do when you do this, what happened to you when somebody doing this to you? And so all of these things in the constitution, what rights and so on and so Hi guys, hi, hi. I'm sorry. I think mute. Hopefully, Sakira here. I'm sorry for the problem with the network. I'm still trying to find this thing right here. Please bear with me. I'll share my screen right now because I think there was a problem with the network and hopefully you can see my screen now. All right. I'm sorry for the network. Let me go back a little bit. I think we were together here when the network was going off. I was talking about the rights and the responsibility of a citizen of the South Africa, or citizen in any country, for that matter. So we said as you are born, you are entitled to human rights. As soon as you are born, you're entitled to human rights. Nobody is giving you those rights. Nobody is privileged to just offer you and say, now because you are born, I'm giving you these rights. So as soon as you are born, you are entitled to them. You have those rights because you are born. You are a human being. That's why they call human rights. So as you are born, you have those rights. So now the question will be the right and the responsibility now. So moving on to the rights and responsibility. So since you have human rights as soon as you are born, what are your responsibilities? Because you cannot just say now, I have human rights because as soon as I'm born, or as a child, as you are born, you have human rights. So now, what else now? You can just do whatever you want. No, definitely doesn't mean that. So now, rights and responsibilities, because everyone has rights, and we must make sure that we respect other people's rights. If you want our right to be respected, we must know to know. So the time is set freedom of expression of any a given time. But at the same time, you cannot spread lies about other people, propaganda, and so on to try to inform people about war or anything that is a problematic in the country. So now, if you want our right to be respected, we might not do not anything that violates other people's personal rights. Also, these rights do not respect the laws. We respect the laws. How? Like I said before, that nobody is above the law. Even the president himself or herself is not above the law. So the president, as the president of the state, is there to protect the constitution of the country, because the country drafted the constitution. So when they draft the constitution, in the section 2, they have the human rights under section 2. Those human rights in section 2 will definitely protect the person's rights. So now, like I said, that nobody above the law, even the president. If now the president is infringing with the law, we will definitely put the president behind bars, because we said nobody is above the law. So we need to respect the law. All right. Now, who is responsible for protect the human rights of that? The government stand by the government. It's independent of the government. So if this condition will be away from the government, or stand alone from the government, or is separated from the government, will be able to work on protection of human rights, because you know that it somehow even the government, the people in government, they can somehow infringe with human rights, trying to break or trying to infringe with some people's rights. So now the SAHRC will now work and try to make sure that they can even put the government in court, trying to fight for the people's rights. So the South African Human Rights Commission, as part of our democratic South Africa, it was set by the Constitution and the Human Rights Commission Act to help to ensure that democracy is protected. It was realized that the protection and promotion of human rights cannot be left to individuals or government alone. So the SAHRC was established as an independent organization, separate from the government, to make sure that human rights are respected in Africa. So now let's go straight to the section 28 for children specifically. Now, though in the option we have in the whereby the internet have special rights. So now, because another still dependent on the parents, the person is dependent to you, or if you as a person is dependent to me, I can definitely do anything that I want to do to you because I know that you're dependent to me. So now that's why now we have the section 28. In section 28, the children are specifically rights, so that they can protect the children. Although maybe I can say I'm a parent to my children, they dependent to me, so I give them whatever they want, I do whatever the things that they need to be done to them. I can try by all means to protect them, so forth and so forth. But then somehow, but myself as a parent, I can also do what I want to do to them, punish my kids and so on and so on. So now, this children section will definitely protect our children in South Africa, even to their parents, to their teachers, to their friends, to whoever who want to violate their rights. All right. So these rights include the right to family care and other care if the children is removed from his or family or her family. So as a children, we have the right to have a family care. So if you're removed from a family, you will definitely have a right to have a family care. That's why we have an adoption for people who want to adopt children. They are given the opportunity because we know they have the family that are included in your children human rights. So you have a right to fall neglected. So you have a right not to be neglected or not to be abused. We're going to punish you by taking you away from home, saying you shouldn't be in his house or in her house. You should just go around in the streets. That's wrong, because now they are violating the right that says you have right not to be abused or neglected. Then if they neglect you and say you should go around the street, then they neglect you, then they violate your rights. Then the SAHRC will get in that, will now infringe to that, will work to make sure that those things are not done. All right. We have you have all right. Not to be forced to work or given work which is not suitable for a child. So most of the cases they refer to this as child labor. They shouldn't take you to do a work that is done by other people. For instance, you find out in South Africa, most of the families, the children, the head of the family, because their parents, they're just gonna have to go to work, and they say, you as a child, you have to take care of your siblings. Then that is the violation of your right, because now they are forcing you to work, to do a work that is supposed to be done by an elderly person responsible for that. We cannot be sure that you are safe there, because a work or a job to take care of a person. Even yourself as a child, you still need to be taken care of, because you definitely know, as a person under the age of 18, you are dependent. For most of the time, decisions that you make, sometimes they're not that good. So as much as you can think, I'm old enough to take, and so on and so on, or definitely not to violate these rights that you have as a child. So again, we are not to be detained unless this is I don't know if I'm still live there, but hopefully I'm still live. All right. I want to go back to my slide, guys. I'm sorry. All right. We were there when we were talking about the protection of the children's rights and so on. So we said them if your parent want to they take you away from home and stuff, because that would be violation of your right, that you are not you have a right not to be abused or neglected, not to be forced to work or given work which is not suitable for a child, not to be detained unless this is absolutely necessary. In such case, the child must be kept separate from adults. Okay, let me just explain the term detain. Most of the time you find that a child has done something wrong, aside from other children, you know about the law. So in country, you might be detained somehow, but you have a right not to be detained with the adults. You can't be detained with an adult. As a child under the age of 18, that's why in some countries, like in South Africa, we also have a juvenile, the prison for children. So if you are being detained, put aside, or you are being in prison, you definitely need to be put aside from the elderly people. That's why we have a juvenile. So that way they should detain you with other children like you, or other children of your age. You can't be detained with older people, because you know older people will take advantage of you. So they need to protect you from that. Again, we have a right to be given a lawyer if necessary. Let's say now you are being arrested. You have a right to be given a lawyer. If definitely, most in South Africa, you know, when they take you for prison, they will ask you, or they say they will give you a simple description. You know, the police, when they say you have a right to remain silent, they have a right to appoint your lawyer, or the be appointed for you, or silent, or everything you say can be used against you. All those things, it just tell you that being arrested, or you're gonna be detained. Definitely, you have a right to give in a lawyer. If you don't afford a lawyer, the government will definitely give you a lawyer. You have a right for that to be given for free in South Africa. No, it doesn't mean that that lawyer that will be given by the government, you have to pay for that lawyer. No, they just have to give you the lawyer because that is in your constitution. Right. Not to be used to fight or war, but to be protected. So definitely in the country to do those things. They're not allowed to be given guns and say, now let's go, you're gonna be shooting. No. When there's a war that's going on at that time, they definitely need to protect children. You need to be protected as children. By all means. They can't fight using you. Say now they are given these guns. We've heard in some countries in Africa where you find that children are using guns, big guns, and so on. They don't know, they don't school and stuff. While we have a right to basic education. So those are the valuation of it. That's why we find that in some countries the UN, the United Nations, trying to help all those countries that have wars. All right, now there is an activity for you before that the lesson ends. Here is an activity. How to do in this activity? We are matching column A with column B. Freedom of expression, civil rights, discrimination, freedom, human rights, organization. So now you're trying to sort this thing out. What does the freedom of expression means? Civil rights, discrimination, freedom, human rights, and so on and so on. All right, I'll be taking questions now. I'll be taking questions. Is there any question? I don't see any hand up. No questions. Thank you, Nairo, which means everything is clear. About the activity that I've given you, that you have to do them. You just match the column A with column B. On the next lesson, I'll actually expect for you guys to have done that. I think this is the end because there's no question. I think that will be the end of our lesson. Thank you guys for participating on this class. But I'm sorry for anything that has a problem with my network and everything. But we're gonna get used as we move on with the class. You're gonna get everything intact and everything fine. So guys, thank you.